In session at cause number 328-594. The case is styled the State of Texas versus Joey Alvarez Flores. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Flores, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Flores, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Flores, you may put your hand down. How you doing, Mr. Flores?
Doing all right. How you?
I'm doing fine. And thanks for being patient with us, Mr. Flores. Now, Mr. Flores, you have a right to have a record, which means you have a right to have a court reporter take everything down. Do you waive that record?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Flores, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about December 7th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of reckless driving. Mr. Flores, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Flores, how do you plead? Guilty? Guilty. Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you're guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Flores, I have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Now, you notice, Mr. Flores, there are a set of initials here, TLH. That's my initials that I placed on this document. And the reason why is because this is a Class B misdemeanor. However, the range of punishment is not like the normal Class B misdemeanors. And this Class B misdemeanor, because it's reckless driving, the range of punishment is confinement in the jail for a term not to exceed 30 days and a fine not to exceed $200 or both such fine and confinement. Do you understand the range of punishment?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Flores, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Flores, on page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials. The first set of initials is on a line and next to a box that's checked guilty. The initials are JF. Did you place your initials here?
Yes, sir.
The second set of initials is on a line below the paragraph that's titled Discovery Admonishment. It states that you want to waive your right. You do not request discovery in this case, and you waive your right to discovery in this case, and you enter a plea of guilty or no contest.
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials?
Yes, sir.
Now, on page 3 of the same document, Mr. Flores, there's a signature that's above the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is titled the Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, Mr. Flores, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature above this document?
Yes, sir.
And no, above the line that's titled Defendant, is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
There are two boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Flores, I also have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. Mr. Flores, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials on a line that says, I waive my right to attorney and I desire to represent myself?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Flores, I also have before me a document that is titled Waiver of Counsel for purposes of entering a guilty plea or proceeding to trial. Mr. Flores, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Flores, prior to signing and initialing all of these documents that I have just mentioned,
Yes, sir.
did you have an opportunity to read these documents?
Yes, sir.
And did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Flores, the state is offering State Exhibit number 1 to be used as evidence against you in your case. State's Exhibit number 1 is the document that this is the document, the first document that you acknowledged. And on page 2 of these documents, they have your initials.
Yes, sir.
And on page 3, you acknowledge that this was your signature.
Yes, sir.
Now, the state would like to use this document as evidence against you in your case. Is it all right for the state to use this document as evidence in your case?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Flores, is there any evidence that you are currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
Mr. Flores, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
30 days county jail. Mr. Flores has credit for 30 days county jail. The time served with the court cost to be taxed in retirement.
Mr. Flores,
Yes, sir.
the state is offering that you serve 30 days in the Jefferson County Jail, but you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 30 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for time served. The court cost in this case is $452, but you will not have to pay the court cost in this case because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Flores, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir. I do.
Mr. Flores, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Flores, you can stand on the X in front of our court clerk. And once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you. You too, sir.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Flores, so here's a copy of your commitment for your records. You're free to go after this. The only thing that I will say is you have a cash fine that you paid for your, yes, your bond, and you can now get a refund on that. So if you go downstairs to the county clerk's office, they're on the first floor directly below us. Show them that document with a form of ID. Do you have
I also
About-
got my bond paper too that I got from, I guess, from Judge when I paid it off.
Huh?
I got the bond release too paper for that bond. for
Do you want a
Judge.
copy of your bond to take?
No, I have a copy.
Okay, perfect. So, do you have a valid form of identification?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. So take that document with your ID downstairs, tell them to have a cash fund, and I'll take care of the rest.
All right, and which one should I go to? Is it upstairs?
Yeah, so first floor downstairs is gonna be the one with the big wide open door.
All right, thank you.
Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, you're good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna need to. This is boot.
You'll sign that, Phil. Where's the other guy?
Right here. I'm gonna need a copy of this here.
I'm too sure to fix.
Yes, ma'am.
Shoot, make a copy,
You'll sign
one
that.
copy. Yes.
Now, where's the final $50?
What are you talking about?
On Florida?
30 days jail credit for time served, tax and retired court costs. Okay, this is cause number 330462. The case is style of State of Texas versus Eugene Booth. Mr. Booth, would you come forward? Thank you. Okay, Mr. Booth, I have before me a document that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights of Defendants Without Attorney. Mr. Booth, do you recognize this document?
Mhm.
And Mr. Booth, is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials stating that you desire to waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself?
Yes, sir.
And also I have before me a document that is titled Waiver of Counsel for Purposes of Entering a Guilty Plea or Proceeding to Trial. Mr. Booth, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Booth, you are desiring to represent yourself. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, state, do y'all have a plea bargain agreement?
Your Honor, I think we will have an agreement on this. It's an assault case where it's Miss Maxey's, and I'd like to be able to speak to the victim just to make sure that that's okay with the victim.
Okay,
If we could have maybe 30 days, would that be good for you? Or be able to be back in 30 days?
okay. Now, Mr. Booth, I have some bond conditions that I need to give to you. Why don't you step over here? And then you can step back on the X, and I will go over these conditions with you. The title of the document is Standard Bond Conditions in County Court at Law Number 2. Do you see that title?
No, yes, sir.
Okay. And it reads, following arrest and or accusation in County Court at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein or ordered subject to the following additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or of the United States. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
And condition number 2, defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order arrest of any defendant who, A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol and the test indicates the presence of drugs or alcohol in the defendant's body, and that's pursuant to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.44, Section A2 and Section C2. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
And condition number 3, the defendant shall not communicate either directly or indirectly with the alleged victim of the pending offense, and the defendant shall not go near any residence, school, or other location frequented by the alleged victim. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir. I have one question. When I went downstairs for that court, it was for the apartment that we stayed in. That's what I'm saying. So I still have items in there that I got on the tree. So, I mean, I don't know. They said a certain day it's like September the 30th.
Well, only thing I can say is that you can talk to an attorney, but these are your bond conditions.
Mhm.
Do you understand that condition?
Yeah, I understand it. I
Okay.
understand.
Now, condition number 4 does not apply because you do not have a DWI case. That only applies in the DWI case. Now, if you violate any one of these bond conditions, your bond can be revoked. Your bond may be revoked, and if it's revoked, you can be put in the Jefferson County Jail. All right. All right. Stand on the X, and she's going to reset your case. And you said 30 days?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Just give us a court date.
11/19.
Okay, then it's going to be reset to November 19th of 2021. Once you get your reset from our court coordinator, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Okay. You have a blessed day. We're gonna go over, we'll start off with our bond forfeitures.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We're in session in cause number, we're in session in County Court at Law Number 2, Jefferson County, Texas. Judge Terrence L. Holmes providing. We just concluded the arraignment docket, which was scheduled at 9 a.m. on today's date of September 28th of 2021. Now we will proceed with our bond forfeitures off of that docket. First case is cause number 326-600. The case is styled the State of Texas versus Keyshawn Rashid Dancy. Keyshawn Rashid Dancy was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. At about 9 a.m., the bailiff called the name of Keyshawn Dancy. Keyshawn Dancy did not answer. Keyshawn Dancy has not appeared in court since the court has been in session. Time now is 12:33 PM on today's date. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Keyshawn Dancy?
I'm gonna listen to you. When you find it, tell me if that's the same thing. If it is, okay.
No response.
Keyshawn Dancy's name was just called again by the court's bailiff at the courthouse door. Keyshawn Dancy did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Keyshawn Dancy an opportunity to appear in court. Keyshawn Dancy has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
Yes, Your Honor, state would move for bond forfeiture.
That motion will be granted. In cause number 326600, warrant shall be issued for the arrest and the bond shall be forfeited of Keyshawn Dancy. We're in session in cause number 329694. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Derricka Jane Johnson. Derricka Johnson was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. for the court's arraignment docket. At or about 9 a.m., Derricka Johnson's name was called, and Derrick at the courthouse door by the court's bailiff. Derricka Johnson's name did not answer, and Derricka Johnson has not appeared in court since the court's been in session. The time now is 12:34 PM on today's date. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Derricka Johnson?
It's not gonna be a problem for that many times along.
Erica Johnson. I'm just no response.
Okay. Derricka Johnson's name was just called again by the court's bailiff at the courthouse door. Derricka Johnson did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Derricka Johnson an opportunity to appear in court for the arraignment, and she has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
Yes, Your Honor, state would move for bond forfeiture.
That motion will be granted. Derricka Johnson's bond will be forfeited in cause number 329694, and a warrant shall be issued for Derricka Johnson's arrest. We're in session in cause number 330224. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Donna Shay Janae McMillan. Donna Shay McMillan was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. for the court's arraignment docket. At or about 9 a.m., the court's bailiff called Donna Shay McMillan's name at the courthouse door. Donna Shay McMillan did not answer. Donna Shay McMillan has not appeared in court since the court's been in session. The time now is 12:35 PM on today's date. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Donna Shay McMillan? Donna Shay McMillan's name was just called at the courthouse door by the court's bailiff, and Donna Shay McMillan did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Donna Shay McMillan an opportunity to appear in court for the court's arraignment docket. State, do you have a motion?
Yes, Your Honor, state would move for bond forfeiture.
That motion will be granted. Donna Shay McMillan bond will be forfeited and a warrant shall be issued for the rest of Donna Shay McMillan in cause number 330224. We're in session in cause number 330290. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Joseph S. Jenkins. Joseph Jenkins was scheduled to be in court at 9 o'clock this morning for the court's announcement docket. At about 9 o'clock a.m., Joseph Jenkins' name was called by the court's bailiff, and Joseph Jenkins did not answer at the courthouse door. Or the time now, well, Joseph Jenkins has not appeared in court since the court's been in session, and the time now is 12:37 PM on today's date. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Joseph Jenkins?
Joseph Jenkins. No response.
Joseph Jenkins' name was just called again by the court's bailiff at the courthouse door. Joseph Jenkins did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Joseph Jenkins an opportunity to appear in court, and Joseph Jenkins has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
Yes, Your Honor, state would move for bond forfeiture.
That motion shall be granted. Joseph Jenkins, bond shall be forfeited, and a warrant shall be issued for the rest of Joseph Jenkins in cause number 330290. The court is in session and calls number 330486. The case is styled State of Texas versus Jason Russell Stelly. Jason Stelly was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. for the court's arraignment docket. Jason Stelly's name was called by the courthouse bailiff at the courthouse door at about 9 a.m. and Jason Stelly did not answer. Jason Stelly has not appeared in court since the court has been in session. The time now is 12:33 p.m. on today's date. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Jason Stelly?
Jason Stelly. No response.
Jason Stelly's name was called again at the courthouse door by the court's bailiff. Jason Stelly has not answered. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Stelly an opportunity to appear in court. He has not appeared in court. Mr. Prosecutor, do you have a motion?
Yes, Your Honor. State would move for bond forfeiture at this time.
That motion shall be granted. And in cause number 330486, a warrant shall be issued for the arrest of Jason Stelly, and Jason Stelly's bond shall be forfeited. We're in session in cause number 330514. The case is styled of State of Texas versus Ryan Van Epps. Ryan Epps was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. for the court's arraignment docket at or about 9 a.m. The court's bailiff called Ryan Epps' name at the courthouse door. Ryan Epps did not answer. Ryan Epps has not appeared in court since the court's been in session, and the time now is 12:35 p.m. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Ryan Epps at the courthouse door?
No response.
Ryan Epps' name was just called at the courthouse door by the court's bailiff. And again, Ryan Epps has not answered the time. Well, Ryan Epps was given a reasonable time to appear in court. He has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would move for bond forfeiture.
That motion shall be granted. And in cause number 330514, Ryan Epps' bond will be forfeited and a warrant shall be issued for his arrest. Ms. Nick, I think the case that you may have been a little concerned about is Lakita Jackson, that she wasn't given notice. That's why.
She didn't give me that information. I guess she gave it to you and she skipped it for me. I
Okay.
have notice on the other one for now.
Okay, that's okay. Okay. Okay, this will conclude the calling of the court's arraignment docket, which was scheduled at 9 a.m. on today's date, September 28 of 2021, County Court at Law number 2, Jefferson County, Texas. Judge Terrence L. Holmes presiding. Everyone, please have a blessed day, and we will be in recess until 1:30 for our trial docket.